This is how it all started. It had to happen someday. And like this only. From the very first day of the campaign, by this rather unusually holy man, and the overwhelming response he got from the masses, it could be very well anticipated that the tide is going to turn now. The man had struck chord with the sufferers instantly, inciting their numb sensitivity, rekindled a hope, and as a consequence, recovering from their deep slumber, they had decided to call it a day. The narrative is about the province I belong to. There was a time when 5 magnificent rivers flowed on this land and was known as a metaphor of water, Punjab. But as a pitiful paradox, now it is a region where there is no clean drinking water available, and the water bodies have turned from blessing to a curse for the people. As I baffle over how all this happened, the story stretches back to the time when Punjab was entering into a new era of development. There were frantic ventures for industrialization and urbanization all around, and the mad race had already played havoc, not only with the traditional way of life, but the conventional agrarian system as well. The disastrous outcome of this unplanned and haphazard so-called progress had been that water resources of the region were irreparably damaged in physiochemical and biological terms. So, in a matter of few decades, the land of 5 rivers was condemned to a territory of disease-carrying watercourses and stinking killer drains. Just have a glimpse of, for instance, the city of Jalandhar. It is one of the major cities in Punjab and hub of industrial activities. The common practice here, since years, has been that the chemical-laden effluents discharged by more than 100 big and small industrial units are thrown away in open without being treated. In this manner, hundreds and thousands cusecs of untreated chemical waste from leather complex, sports and surgical goods complex, and from various other units of industrial focal point is disposed of into open drains regularly. If you happen to pass through the area, you will find that sewerage from different localities is also channelized straight into these drains for the simple reason that the capacity of municipal corporation to treat sewage of the city is limited to 100 million litre per day only, whereas the amount of discharge is more than 300 million litre a day. The domain of drains has now become inseparable part of the surroundings. Flooded with all kind of filth, muck and sludge, these drains make their way through the localities and have become like permanent landmarks. En route also, sewage and refuse is thrown into these drains regularly. The filthy, stinking surrounding or the emanating stench all through day and night does not bother the residents anymore. They have their sweet homes, shops, schools, playgrounds, and even temples alongside the flow of these drains. All the drains running through localities join the main drain at a village called Kala Singha, not far away from the city. Such is the magnitude of its smudge that at any given time, approximately 120 million litres of untreated excrement flows in Kala Singha drain. And as it flows further, the level of contamination also keeps on increasing as all the filth from factories, tanneries and localities is also dumped into it. Carrying all the filth and defilement, Kala Singha drain, like a venom-vomiting python, passes through around 90 villages of the district. The villagers along Kala Singha drain have virtually been living in inhuman conditions since years. Not only that they suffer by the stench of the drain, but also because the poisonous effluents flowing in the drain have sneaked into the water table and contaminated it with metals like nickel, chrome, zinc, ferrous, sulfur, along with phosphates and chloride. The consumption of this contaminated water has pushed them into the clutches of deadly diseases, and they have been compelled to die slow death. As I said, people had become numb and stupefied to the prevailing conditions to get responsive only until the holy man emerged on the scene. He came with a mission in mind. He met the people, talked to them, and invoked them. And it so happened, as if he had pulled the rug out from under their feet, as if he had removed the blindfold from their eyes, and suddenly they could now see around with a new vision. The man respectably known as Sant Sichewal travelled along with his followers to the villages one after another, along the passage of drain, called gatherings, addressed them and awakened the people to realize as to what extent their water resources and the environs have been ruined. He incited them to think why they have submitted to such hell-like conditions, where the atmosphere they live in, the air they breathe, and the water they drink, everything is so polluted and poisonous. His followers took samples of drinking water from the houses and gave demonstration to the villagers using TDS meters, showing the level of total dissolved solids in the water that they were forced to consume. It was a shocking revelation for the villagers. In every village, one after another, wherever Sant Sichewal called in and gave audience, he urged the people to know about the conspiracy behind creating scarcity of clean drinking water, the reason behind depleting water resources, and persuaded them to put an end to such misdeeds. He reminded them as to how they once used to worship their rivers, and how those rivers have lost their glory and now reduced to mere stinking streams. He also contemplated how water pollution, if not contained, spreads fast and engulfs water bodies one after the other.
एदी करनी खत्म कहानी एदी करनी खत्म कहानी एदी करनी खत्म कहानी एदी करनी खत्म कहानी जन जन ताईं जगाउणा है असी वातावरण बचाउणा है जन जन ताईं जगाउणा है असी वातावरण बचाउणा.
The Sant really meant what he said. Here was the perturbing proof. The sludge being carried by the Kala Singha drain is not confined to the drain only. To one's utter disbelief, Kala Singha drain joins the rivulet Chitti Bai near village Malsiyan and openly spews out all the sludge into the stream of Chitti Bai. This 100-kilometer long rivulet got its name Chitti Bai, meaning white stream, due to its clean, transparent water. But now, the smirch has turned its color into absolute black. Sant Sichewal had collected samples from the flow of Chitti Bai. A study conducted of these samples revealed very high accumulation of chromium, nickel, zinc in the sediment of Chitti Bai. It was an attestation that Chitti Bai had become a source of various diseases for thousands of people settled in the villages alongside its stretch. Now begins the journey of this heavily burdened Chitti Bai, carrying all kinds of pollutants from villages, towns and drains. It finally disburdens itself by joining river Sutlej near a place called Mundi Kala. The ancient river Sutlej accepts all these offerings with a large heart. The word had already spread around that Sant Sichewal has taken the resolve to save rivers and put an end to the practices that killed the water bodies. People were stirred, excited, and looking forward for a wonder to happen. So following the track of Chitti Bai, when the Sant along with his convoy passed through the villages, people flocked him everywhere. Like a wave, he swayed them along. They found in him the Savior who would show them the way and help end their miseries. And he was there in every village, addressing them, holding conversations, sharing his views and discussing his future plans. His next destination was city of Ludhiana. Hold your breath now. Ludhiana, the industrial nerve center of Punjab, is a city virtually sitting on a garbage bomb ticking to an almost certain explosion with unimaginable consequences. For this largest city of about 1 million people, groundwater is the only source of water. The only source of recharging the groundwater is Buddha Nala. And if you dare take a look at Buddha Nala, it is really frightening. Buddha Nala once used to be a stream of clean, natural water and was a boon for the city of Ludhiana. It has now turned into a massive flow of sewerage right in the middle of the city, posing serious health hazard. There are more than 1,000 thriving industrial units discharging about 50,000 cubic meters of industrial effluents, mostly of toxic contents, and are regularly emptied into Buddha Nala. Further, there is no arrangement for treating and disposal of the domestic sewage. Wastewater from localities flow through the trenches and ultimately finds entry into Buddha Nala. When Sant Sichewal toured different localities of the city and met the residents, he, along with a team of scientists, also investigated as to what extent the groundwater has been affected by the flow of Buddha Nala. They found the groundwater of the area has turned to a cocktail of heavy metals, cyanide, alkaline contingents and pesticides. The levels of heavy metals such as cadmium, cyanide, lead and chromium is above the permissible limits in the shallow aquifers. With the result, water of hand pumps is totally unfit for human consumption up to a depth of 100 feet in the large pockets of the city. The wrath of Buddha Nala is not restricted to the city of Ludhiana only. Passing through localities and the adjoining villages, Buddha Nala finally falls into the river Sutlej near Ballipur village and throws hundreds of tons of untreated sewage into the clean stream of river Sutlej. Sutlej, the majestic river of Punjab, has been associated with the socio-cultural life of the people since ancient times. Ironically, it is now one of the most polluted rivers in the world. River Sutlej proceeds further towards Hari Ke Patthar. The stretch from Ludhiana to Hari Ke Pattan has been identified as the most polluted one by the Pollution Control Board. Now, have a look at what happens further at Hari Ke Pattan. It is here that Satluj merges with Beas, another ancient river flowing in the northern part of Punjab. The total stretch of Beas is 470 kilometers with clean and pure water until Satluj merges in it. At the confluence point, the stream of Beas also gets polluted due to heavily contaminated and sludgy water of Satluj. After this confluence, the quality of water of Beas also deteriorates to class D, meaning unfit for human consumption. This is how the rivers in Punjab have been killed one after another.
जिस वास्ते अज जिहड़े है असीं इस तो 15 दिन पहला प्रशासन नूं एक नोटिस दिता सी कि ये जिहड़ा भारत दे संविधान दे अनुसार साडे जीवन दा हक खोया जा रहा इस नूं
The irony of the situation is that despite a number of pleas, repeated reminders and appeals by the Sant, neither the administration nor municipal corporation and pollution control board had paid any heed. Sant Sichewal does not believe in mere accusations or lambasting. He is a man of action. To solve this frightening problem, he had already suggested an alternative. In the village of Gurayan, he himself had designed a new kind of indigenous treatment plant. The plant was constructed using simple technique with common native wisdom and planning and keeping in mind the local needs. Murky water from the nearby villages was drained and after passing through trenches working as filters, collected in a pond. It was then pumped out through a barrel, tossed, churned, and after removing froth and lather, pooled in an open field through pipes. The field was connected to another field by an underground pipe, canalizing the water filtered through the soil into it. The water was again filtered by the soil of the second field and canalized to third field. Going through this process, the water got sieved out of all the slime and defilement. This water was then utilized for irrigation. It proved to be a very successful experiment as the use of this water for irrigating the fields produced astounding results. Crops grew in abundance without any use of fertilizers. Thus, the waste, polluted water that was a menace for the people and threat to the environment had now become a boon for the villagers. Returning to the shocking tale of the rivers of Punjab, that does not end there, but has yet another horrifying dimension. From Hari Ke Pattan barrage, below the confluence of Satluj and Beas rivers, this highly contaminated water is further supplied to 4 districts of Rajasthan through a feeder canal. Rajasthan is the state where there is acute shortage of water, and nearly 2/3 of the land is arid or semi-arid. Water table has receded continuously over the years, and hundreds of tube wells have gone dry. There is also no alternative source of surface water. One would be able to imagine the gravity of the water crisis here from the fact that 11 districts of Rajasthan have been put under critical group as a worst case. Some of the districts get drinking water supply by tankers and by transporting water by trains. The feeder canal from Punjab that flows through the Thar desert of Rajasthan brings water to the areas where there is no surface water.
राजस्थान के लोगों को स्वच्छ जल पिलाने के लिए अपना संकल्प दोहराया है। हम लुधियाना का गंदा पानी बंद करा के रहेंगे। राजस्थान को स्वच्छ जल पिलाना ही हमारा संकल्प है। सबको मेरा निवेदन है, भाइयों आप काम करो।
Following the track of the feeder canal, Sant Sichewal travelled to different villages and towns of Rajasthan as well. Pamphlets and posters were distributed everywhere to let people know how the water they consume was contaminated with impurities and unfit for human consumption.
कैंसर की बीमारी से पीड़ित होता है। तो पानी हम सब की जरूरत है। सब धर्मां दे लोकां ने पानी पीना है। पशु पंछियां जानवरां ने पानी पीना है।
He also held meetings, gave demonstrations, revealing to them the fact how the stream of water they welcome as blessing is in fact a curse in disguise.
ਬਿਨਾ ਫਿਲਟਰ ਤੋਂ ਬੁੱਢੇ ਨਾਲੇ ਤੋਂ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਉੱਥੇ ਘੁਲਿਆ ਉਹ ਬੀਕਾਨੇਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਣੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੱਢ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
In the villages of Rajasthan, the water supplied by the feeder canal is stored in community ponds. The villagers fetch water from these ponds and use it for drinking and cooking without treating it. The people living in villages nearer to the canal collect water directly from it, store in the diggis constructed at their homes, and consume it for their daily needs. They are totally ignorant as to what level this water flowing from Punjab is infected with poisonous chemical effluents. For these deprived ones, it is just water, the symbol of life. They only know this much, how precious this fluid is for their life. Only they can realize what is its significance for a living being. They are the ones who understand how the whole life changes if there is no water, and how life gets a new meaning when there is water. So they welcome this gift of nature and accept it gratefully. But after consuming this slow poison in the name of water, the villagers fall prey to deadly diseases they are not aware about. Deadline of the ultimatum given to the administration for taking action was over. In response to the call given by Sant Sichewal, a sea of people descended onto the banks of Kala Singha drain. They had come from far-flung areas. Their simmering discontent had reached to its culmination point. And here they were, displaying their anger, flashing their resolute spirit, and ready to take direct action to put an end to the practices that had wrecked their lives. Kala Singha drain was their first target, to be followed by other such sites. The administration came out of deep slumber only to be shocked. They had never expected such an upsurge of people. Senior officials rushed to the spot to avoid any untoward incident. There were hectic discussions by the civil and police officials with Sant Sichewal and last-minute negotiations to buy time. But the Sant refused to budge.
ਕੋਈ ਕੋਰਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਗੰਦਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਾਉਨੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ 2 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਹੋਰ ਪਾਈ ਜਾਓ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਕੋਰਟ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਹੂ
Every attempt to pacify the villagers and stop them to take any action failed. Patience of the people had worn out, and they were determined to embark on their mission. These were not the people they used to be. They had come out of their shell, broken the shackles and revived their sensitivity. These were the people who had gathered their anger and directed it against the pursuits that were malicious, anti-people, anti-nature and unconstitutional. This surge now could not be stopped by either the administration or the police, or by those conspirators who had snatched their holy rivers from them. This was a fight for the rights, a battle against unjust deeds, and they were decisive to turn the tide now. And here was the blow. An act aimed at to knot the fountainhead of sinfulness, a forceful move to snub the wrongdoers right in their territory. One after another, they started throwing sandbags they had prepared at the base of the drain originating from industrial area to block the poisonous outpouring at its very outset. It was a community action to save their rivers, to protect their environment, and to safeguard their rights. They were determined to forcibly plug the drain by raising high a blockade of sandbags. The blustering crowd was at work with full vigor. This blockage meant that the flow will not advance towards their villages and towns, but regress to the factories by overflowing, backtrack to the compounds from where it was being discharged. Let the urbanites handle their effluents themselves, as the villagers will no more allow its inflow into their territory. As the blockade was rising, so was their vehemence and enthusiasm. Whether this retaliation was a just act or unlawful, solution to the problem or unreasonable, remains to be decided. But one thing was very clear. It was not an appeal or a prayer, but a warning so strong and loud that nobody could ignore it anymore.